Welcome back, balance seekers and life designers. I'm Mark Protus, and today we're tackling something that frustrates almost everyone I meet, trying to juggle it all without dropping the ball on what matters most. Let's be honest, how often does balance feel like an impossible goal? Between work, family, friends, and personal goals, life can feel more like a chaotic circus act than a harmonious flow. And if you're like most people, it's usually your own needs that end up on the back burner. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a balanced life that actually works for you. We'll break it down into 5 actionable steps so you can stop spinning plates and start living with clarity and purpose. So stick around to the end because I'll share one simple mindset shift that transformed how I think about balance, and I think it'll do the same for you. Let me share something personal. A few years ago, I was that person who thought that balance meant doing it all. I'd wake up at 5, start the day with exercise, work a full day, attend games or plays at the kids' school, or go to work or social events, and try and maintain the perfect home life. You know what happened? I crashed. Hard. My health suffered. My relationships felt shallow, and I didn't end up working out regularly or eating healthy. Despite doing everything, nothing felt fulfilling. But here's what I discovered. Balance isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how to figure out what those are for you. And before we dive in, grab a pen and paper. You'll want to take some notes for this one. And don't forget to check out the description below and sign up for tips and tricks that'll help you implement everything we cover today. Now, let's dive into our first step. As the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle said, excellence is not an act, but a habit. And that's exactly how we're going to approach balance. Not as a destination, but as a daily practice. Step 1, redefine your personal balance. Here's something that might surprise you. Balance looks different for everyone. What feels balanced to your best friend or that influencer you follow might feel completely chaotic to you. And that's exactly how it should be. I remember when I first learned this lesson. I was trying to follow someone else's perfect morning routine, and it included meditation, journaling, and a 2-hour workout. I often didn't follow through because I was doing someone else's routine. The real breakthrough came when I started designing my days around my preferences and my natural energy patterns. Now, it's time for you to take action. Hit pause right now and let's do what I call the balance blueprint. Take out a piece of paper and draw 3 columns: must have, nice to have, and can wait. In the first column, write down the non-negotiables that make you feel centered and fulfilled. Maybe it's time for dinner with the family, daily exercise, or quiet time to recharge. Be honest. This is about your needs, not what you think you should want, and not what you think others might want you to do. When you've got your list, come back, and we'll turn those priorities into action. Now that you know what matters most, let's move into our second step, and we'll get real about where your time is actually going. Step 2 is audit your time with purpose. Think of this like being a detective in your own life. Most of us have no idea where our time really goes. We just seem to know it vanishes. But here's the thing, you can't create balance if you don't know what's throwing you off balance. Let me share something that shocked me. When I first tracked my time, I discovered I was spending 2 hours a day scrolling through social media mindlessly and an additional hour watching news on TV. That was 3 hours I could have spent on things that actually mattered to me. Time for another action step. Pause the video and pull out your phone. Now, look at your screen time report or download a time tracking app. Start tracking how you spend your hours for the next week. And here's the key, and this is important. Don't judge yourself. We're just gathering data. We're not making any decisions yet. Now that we know where our time is going, let's talk about protecting it. This brings us to step 3, and this is a big one. Set boundaries that serve you. Here's a truth bomb. Your time will always be hijacked by someone else's priorities if you don't protect it. But here's the good news. Setting boundaries doesn't mean building walls. It means creating gates that you control. I struggled with this when I first started my business. I thought being available 24/7 meant I was dedicated. Instead, it meant I was burned out and resentful. Everything changed when I started setting clear boundaries around my work hours and my personal time. Your turn. Pause the video and identify one area where you need to set stronger boundaries. Maybe it's work emails after hours, or maybe it's that friend who always just needs a quick favor. Write down one boundary you'll set this week and exactly how you'll communicate it. For example, I'll turn off work notifications after 7 p.m. and communicate this change to my team today. Speaking of protecting your energy, let's move into step 4, the step most people skip, but it's absolutely crucial. Master the art of self-care. Now, before you roll your eyes at another person talking about self-care, please hear me out. I'm not necessarily talking about bubble baths and incense for everyone. Of course, unless that's your thing. I'm talking about strategic recovery, the kind that keeps you performing at your best. Think of yourself like an athlete. Athletes don't apologize for the recovery time they take because they know it's essential for peak performance. Your life is no different. Whether you're a parent, a professional, an entrepreneur, or all of the above, you need strategic recovery to show up fully. Here's your next action step. Pause the video and create your energy audit. Write down what fills your cup and what drains it. Then schedule at least one energy-filling activity for tomorrow. Put it in your calendar with a specific time. Not when I have time, because let's be honest, that time never comes unless we make it. Now, let's wrap this one up with our final step, one that might just change everything you know about how you approach balance. And that's embrace rhythms, not routines. Here's the mindset shift I promised you. Stop thinking about balance as a fixed state and start thinking about it as a rhythm. Just like a surfer rides waves, you need to learn to ride the natural ebbs and flows of your life. Let's make this real. Pause the video for one last time and create what I call rhythm reset. Write down your ideal rhythm for 3 different types of days: high energy days, low energy days, and recovery days. This becomes a flexible framework, not a rigid routine that sets you up for failure. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Some days you'll feel like crushing it, and other days you'll feel like it's crushing you. That's not failure, that's being human. Now, picture yourself 6 months from now. You're not just surviving each day, you're thriving in a life that feels aligned with your values. You have energy for what matters, boundaries that protect your peace, and the flexibility to adjust when life throws curveballs at you. And here's something powerful to remember. As Anne Lamott once said, almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. That's your permission slip to prioritize balance in a world that often celebrates burnout. If you're ready to dive deeper into creating a life that feels aligned and purposeful, hit that subscribe button and join our community of balance seekers. And don't forget to check out my link in the description. I'm creating content and experiences to help you implement everything we've covered today. And always remember, you've got this.